much for watching. If we were to listen to the new HHS Secretary, Kathleen Sebelius, she said you're confused about health care reform. Or how about John Kerry? I showed you earlier what he said.
We have an electorate that doesn't always pay that much attention to what's going on. So, you know, people are influenced by a simple slogan rather than by the facts and the truth or what's happening.
I can't believe he said that. I mean, it is true, John. About 69 million people were influenced by three simple words: hope and change. It's not because they were stupid. I mean, was it? I don't think so. I think it's because Americans are trusting. They trust that people are generally like them and generally good. And hope and change, we want to have hope. And the change that I think Americans, that was unspoken, went across the spectrum, was that we would clean up the corruption and we'd stop with the lies and we'd stop with the old style politics. We'd stop with all of this. We're trusting. Unfortunately, for this period of time, no longer. Because we've been played. I saw this picture on theblaze.com this weekend. It's the guy who quit his job to join Obama's campaign. Do you remember him? This is the guy who was the doorman in New York. Well, he went to go work for the campaign, but now he's losing hope. He's back at his doorman job, and he's making less money than he was. The majority of Americans, I think, feel like him. But that's what you are to these progressives. A doorman. You little people, you don't understand what's good for you. They've tried to explain how they're taking care of everything in your life, but you're just not getting it. The fact is, the vast majority of Americans are fed up, precisely because they do know what's going on. None of this makes any sense to them. Not because they're stupid, but because they know there's a game still being played. We're being lied to again. They've got another agenda. It's a special interest game. Well, with everything that's going on in the world, in a couple of weeks, a key stimulus program that did nothing but create temporary jobs is scheduled to end. Now, it did create jobs. In the grand scheme of government jobs programs, I mean, this is much better than the $2 million phantom jobs that you can never find. This program allowed employers at the government level, nonprofit and small business levels, to get direct help paying for workers' salaries. It was modeled after a failed New Deal jobs program, and even Republicans like Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour was supporting it. I don't. And the reason why I don't is not because I hate people, it's because of this problem. An estimate, now that the government money is over, what have we gained? 26,000 jobs could be lost now in Illinois in the next 2 weeks. Another 12,000 jobs will go in Philadelphia. So how does this help people in the hope department? Doesn't this make things worse? Yes. So why would you do it? Well, first of all, because you know the jobs are going to happen right around election time. And you're also going to be able to use fear and say, hey, you're not going to be able to, these guys are going to cut even more. You think it's bad now, you wait. And more importantly, as always, when you create a problem, you create one that is enormously painful, and then you just wait with the solution. You have the solution already. You're just causing the pain to get people to beg you to solve the problem so they can feed their family. Well, here he comes on his white horse, Andy Stern, formerly of SEIU. But now he's on the president's economic panel. That's right, he used to, was the former head of the powerful union, SEIU, but now he just recommends policies for the president directly. And he's here to save the day. Andy Stern. He has a plan to create 12 million jobs. He calls it, what is it? No, this is from the Center for American Progress. I think it's AmeriCorps in steroids. There it is. In a nutshell, Stern's idea is that assuming the average annual cost of $15,000 per person, for just $46.5 billion, we could offer every 16 to 24-year-old who wanted a job a national service opportunity. Well, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. So everybody who's 16 to 24 could work for the government. Where did he get that idea? Oh, that's right. This. The Center for American Progress. Here was their solution. Ready? Bottom line, for less than $1.5 billion, Congress could engage close to 150,000 individuals in national service for 1 year. Less than $14,000 per member. The strategy would create the equivalent of over 100,000 new jobs. There it is, Center for American Progress. We told you last week that this is exactly what they do. They create an unsustainable system. They force their solutions on the American people, and the American people beg them for it. And the great thing is, this is all about jobs for the youth, 16 and 24-year-olds. And who better to suggest this than Andy Stern, a former member of SDS in the Tree of Revolution. Isn't that great? Here he is, SDS, Students for a Democratic Society. This is the nonsense and revolution that he learned in the 60s. It's fantastic. It's fantastic when they indoctrinate our kids in school to be green, but now they can go right into the clutches of Andy Stern after they leave school. They can go right to that government job with Andy Stern and Van Jones. Oh, that's great. We'll talk a little bit more about Stern's tremendous plan to create 12 million jobs for 16 to 24-year-olds next.
On 8/28, a challenge was issued. For the next 40 days and 40 nights, put faith, hope, and charity at the forefront of your life. Reestablish your relationship with God through prayer. Restore hope through truth. Tell no lies. Remember that charity begins at home, and do something kind for a member of your family once a week. If you have completed this journey and want to share your story, join us for an incredible hour. Email beckchallenge@foxnews.com. You will witness miracles.
All right, Andy Stern. He is now on the President's Fiscal Responsibility Commission. I mean, a guy who ran SEIU's pensions into the ground. Well, he's come up with a terrific plan to create 12 million jobs, paid national service. Basically, he says, and so did the Center for American Progress about 10 months ago, assuming that the average annual cost of $15,000 per person, for just $46.5 billion, we could offer every 16 to 24-year-old a job who wanted to serve or wanted a job in national service opportunity. That's great. All of this came from CAP, Center for American Progress, the Soros place, 10 months before. It's the same plan. I mean, this is their aim, their MO. I told you last week that the carrot idea didn't come from Barack Obama's wife or her doctor. It came from the Center for American Progress, which also came from Cass Sunstein years ago. Same stuff, different messengers, presented as brand new. Now they're targeting jobs for youth because unemployment among the youth is unbelievably high. Stern tells us that while 16 to 24-year-olds comprise just 13% of the labor force, they account for 26% of the unemployed. That's nearly 4 million unemployed young people. Wow. It's amazing. Who could have possibly foreseen that problem? Oh, that's right. That's right. I did. Like 4 years ago over at CNN, and we talked about it over a year ago on my radio show. Watch.
The minimum wage has gone up twice, thanks to Nancy Pelosi in the last 2 years. Young people are the ones most affected by the minimum wage because they're just putting their experience and skill sets together. But how can they get experience when their skills aren't worth the minimum wage? The unemployment rate for those 16 to 24 is now higher. The unemployment rate for those aged 16 to 24 now higher than any point since at least 1948.
This was actually part of a bit that was promoting a book, Arguing with Idiots. So we had to write that part of the book at least 8 months prior to it being published. So it doesn't take a genius to figure this out. They created the atmosphere, and now they have the answer as 16 to 24-year-olds beg them for a job. If you think this is too conspiratorial, I showed you the global trends last week. I asked you to read this report, Global Trends, A Transformed World. This is a federal government document. They have made their decision on what America will look like in 2025 or sooner. But they haven't consulted you, have they? I read it over the weekend. You will be consulted. You will know what's in this. On Friday's show, tell your friends, set your DVRs. Do not miss it.
vision of a different America than what I'm seeing today.
I want to see the first domino tipped over.
And this may be the start of it.
Last year, I said this was going to be historic. I told the staff.
You know, I think with Glenn, you know, it's just, you get so used to him raising the bar continually that you're never really thrown by it.
You know, a lot of times he'll kick an idea around for a little while and then it turns into something completely different. So we had no idea. You don't react to the early Glenn ideas.
Here we go again.
Center stage, go ahead. Center stage.
Saturday, that was an amazing Saturday. But on this Saturday, there's something else that should be celebrated in America. There is another huge rally. People are coming out. This rally is, I guess, according to the New York Times, to counter the Restoring Honor event. I don't know how you counter honor and integrity and love and peace and everything else that we talked about. But obviously, the political left is freaked out by the fact that you turned out by the hundreds of thousands. And they're panicked to the point to where the left is now doing 2 mall rallies in 1 month. And again, I have no problem. I wish them success. I do. And I urge you to watch it. Listen to what they have to say so you can make a choice. It's one nation working together. And it's made up, this rally is being put on by 300 organizations. They're promoting 10 to 10. The organizations are the AFL-CIO, you have SEIU, you have the National Council of La Raza, Code Pink, Van Jones Green for All, Chicago Democratic Socialists of America, Jim Wallace's group, Sojourners. That's just a few. There are 300 of these. Then, on October 30th, Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert are putting together a mock rally on the Mall. Again, I urge you to watch it and pay attention. I'm disappointed that they feel we have to mock honor, but whatever. Again, I wish them success. On Friday, I actually felt bad for Stephen Colbert. He was testifying before a House hearing on immigration on Friday, and he was doing it in character. It was really in poor taste, but I don't necessarily think it was his fault. I mean, he participated, but this is a bad idea. I haven't seen anybody report on this. Do you know who it was that set this whole thing up? It was the United Farm Workers Union. Yes, again, the unions, orchestrating Colbert's immigration worker experience and the appearance before the committee. That's what happened. And why is that left out, that it's these people, it's the unions, it's special interest? And by the way, I do want you to see 10 to 10. I don't wish them any ill will or any harm at all. I want you to see it. You can get all the rally information and organizing. You can find out how to attend by going to this website. It is the Communist Party USA's website, cpusa.org. What you need to do is you'll click on the Young Communist League tab at the top, and the Communist will give you all the information you need. Country going to look like in 2025? I don't think you're going to recognize the country. It's not me, it's the federal government's report. That is on Friday from New York. Thanks for watching. Good night, America.